Hi guys, I'm Nikki Makeup and I'm going to show you how to create this glowy everyday makeup look with a focus on skin prep using Tatcha. So I'm going to be prepping the skin now with a Dewy Milk Moisturiser. Now, for all of the formula geeks out there like I am, this contains such beautiful ingredients. We've got purple rice extract, which really helps protect the skin from free radicals. We've also got green tea extract, which is a powerful antioxidant and also helps boost skin's glow by keeping the skin's microbiome balanced. And then it also contains something called zinc hyaluronate, which helps to really balance oil production and also prevent water loss in the skin, which is what gives you that beautiful kind of plumpy, juicy glow. Now, some of you might be wondering, especially if you're already fans of the brand, what the difference is between the Dewy Skin Cream and the Dewy Milk Moisturiser. And I would say the main difference is the Dewy Skin Cream is really just a cream texture. So it's going to be a lot richer, more hydrating, visibly plumps fine lines. So if you've got dry skin or dehydrated skin or more mature skin, this is the one you want to be going for. Whereas if you have combination or normal skin, or if you're just looking for something that's lightweight and going to give you that really dewy, bouncy glow before makeup, then this is going to be your best friend because it's so beautiful. Now, just a couple of pumps is going to do Effie's whole face and going to really create that bouncy, gorgeous, glowy skin. It's so quick and easily absorbed. And I'm going to give that a little massage into the skin to allow all those beautiful ingredients to work. Now the texture of this is really, really silky. I can literally feel how silky it is on my hands. It's also just really lightweight on the skin and fast absorbing and gives you lots of hydration. So look at that, it really creates that gorgeous bouncy skin. I'm so obsessed with skin like this. Now to make sure this is a really dewy, gorgeous, glowy look, I'm going to give a light mist of the Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. Now I'm going to let you guys into a little secret. This is truly my secret weapon in my kit. I carry this with me whatever job I do, wherever I go, because of all the mists that I have tried. This one honestly gives the most natural and gorgeous glow. You can use it pre-makeup, you can use it post-makeup, but it's just so lightweight and so beautiful and definitely gives a dewy finish to the skin. Now the last step to this really simple skincare routine is I'm going to be using this Kissu Lip Mask. This is a leave-on lip mask. Oh my gosh, look how satisfying that is. I'm not sure whether you can see, but I love a new product to dig into. I'm going to just pop a little bit of this on the applicator that it comes with. And then this really just helps to plump any fine lines and just promote soft, smooth lips without leaving any oily residue behind. How gorgeous. Guys, I just need to show you because all she has on is skin prep and look at that glow. I mean, when people talk about glow coming from skin prep, it really is the first step to achieving that look. It's just so gorgeous. So we're going to go straight into foundation now, and I'm going to use the Chantecaille Future Skin because I want this look to be really kind of soft and natural, and I love this foundation and the fact you can really see skin through it. So I'm just applying it now with kind of just your typical flat foundation brush. And then we're going to buff into the skin afterwards with a fluffier brush. I am using shade Nude. So if you've ever put your foundation on with a brush like this and then you see little lines in it, then this is my secret, the quickest, easiest way to give you that kind of airbrush finish with minimal effort. You just want to take a fluffy brush, can be like a buffing brush like this, or even could be a powder or blusher brush, and just go over the top of where you've applied it with that flat brush. And this is just going to make sure that you don't see any of those lines from the bristles and everything looks really beautifully smooth and even. I'm going to use a Vive concealer now, and I tell you why. I used this the other day, and as I used it I went, wow, this is good. Really good coverage. It just sits really beautifully on the skin and gives you a really kind of flawless finish. So I'm using this under the eyes, but I've also chosen a shade that's going to work to cover any little blemishes too. So I'm going to start with under the eyes and just blend that. And I love using this technique to create a natural dewy skin because then we get to see Effie's gorgeous freckles through this sheer foundation, but also make skin look perfect by just correcting any little areas that need that extra coverage. Okay, concealer's on, and that is what I would call a natural, dewy, gorgeous, glowy base that just still looks like skin. I'm going to set the areas that need it with just a little bit of powder. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury, it's called the Airbrush Finish Powder, I quite like this one. It's got a slight tint to it, so it just, I mean, I wouldn't say it gives coverage, but I would say it's quite perfecting. So when you need a little bit of extra help from your powder, this is a great one. And as you can see, I'm being quite sparing with this because I want to keep that gorgeous dewy glow in the skin that we got from that moisturizer. So this is just going on the areas that we really don't want too much shine. So a little bit on the chin here, and then this area here, I never like to be too glowy, regardless of the look. So always make sure that I put a fair amount of powder on the kind of smile lines and at the sides of the nose, and then just a tiny bit kind of in the center of the forehead and working up from there. But generally what I want is that this has still got that three-dimensional glow, so that whenever you turn her face to the side, you still see how gorgeous and dewy and natural the skin looks. Okay, next up I'm going to use the Westman Atelier Contour. Most beautiful packaging, my gosh. Now this is so easy to use because it's in a stick format. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to take the corner of the product and just do a little swipe just right under the cheekbone. Same for this side, and also we're going to put up a little bit in the temple there and also there. And just for this look, which is going to be a natural daytime look on Effie, I'm also going to take a little bit of that in the eye socket, and that's just going to bring everything together really, really nicely once it's blended out. Now once you blend your contour, you want to be blending upwards. I think what I see the most is people just blending around in circles, and then you tend to spread the contour and then it's not really doing its job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the area that we want the least product, and I'm just going to push that upwards just to create a very soft, natural bit of shadowing under the cheekbone and also in the temple. That really helps to create this kind of in and out shape, and then bring that also a little in the crease of the eye. Just helps to tie everything in. And exactly the same for the other side, pushing up so that you're not dragging that contour too far down. You want to keep it sort of under cheekbones and pushed up and not any lower than that. And that's going to really help to lift those angles of the face. Blending in the temples too. I'm just using a little angled sort of blusher, contour brush for this, really easy to use. And then again, just softening that. These blend so beautifully and easily anyway. And now we're going to take some bronzer, and I'm going to use a different brush for this. Slightly bigger, more traditional bronzer brush, and I'm going to take some of the bronzer here, and I'm going to just dust this at the top of the forehead. Now with bronzer, you want it to go anywhere that the sun would naturally hit. So if you think about the sun ahead of you, it's going to go on the top of your forehead, across the bridge of the nose. Anywhere that the sun is naturally going to catch the skin is where you want to apply that bronzer to give you a really kind of soft, naturally sun-kissed look. Gorgeous. Now, because it's a dewy look, of course, I wanted to use a gorgeous dewy blush, and there is no more gorgeous and dewy than this one. This is the Unreal Glow Stick by Charlotte Tilbury. This is in the shade Cherry Glow. Quite a strong color, as you'll be able to see, but I just feel like the way that this blends out into the skin makes it really look like a natural flush. Now, this comes in many softer shades, so that if you are a beginner or you're looking for something super easy to use, you can go for a lighter color. But actually, I just love the way that these kind of cherry red blushes really just look like that gorgeous natural summer flush. Now, as you can see, Effie's got incredible brows, so I'm really going to keep them soft and natural and not do too much to them. I'm just using the Victoria Beckham brow blade in the shade medium brown. What I'm doing with this is I'm just going to slightly fill in and elongate just the tail end of the brow. And I actually like to do this before applying brow gel. I know everybody's got their different ways of doing this, but I feel like if you do this before your brow gel, then you can actually use the kind of the process of applying the brow gel just to soften any hard lines from that pencil. Now I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze Gel. This is so easy to use and really strong hold. Just for that inner part of the brow, I'm combing upwards, and then I'm just going to follow the natural angle of the brow as we move along. Now I'm going to show you guys my technique to create the quickest, easiest, effortless eye look. I'm using the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Glide Eye Pencil, and you will see why. This is so soft and so glidey. If you look down for me, what I'm going to do with this is I'm literally, you can be as messy as you like, scribbling over the lash line. You can see how soft that pencil is. It just glides onto the eyes, and then I'm going to take a little bit here and draw in the socket. Now I know that looks super scary and you probably think, oh my gosh, I can't do that. But this is gonna blend out and look really seamless, I promise you. So I'm gonna take a brush to blend, and we're gonna start in the socket, and I'm just gonna soften that pencil. The beauty of this technique is you can really add and take away so you get the intensity that you're looking for. So if you feel like you want a little bit more intensity, you can just layer the pencil, and if you feel like you want a bit less, just take a clean brush and go back over the top to soften it. Now with this liner, I'm going to do the same thing. I really haven't put too much liner in the inner part of the eye because you want to keep that as kind of light as possible. But then in the outer part, that's where this line gets a little bit thicker and stronger. And you can even just blend up slightly. And this is such a quick and easy technique to achieve an instant smoky eye, an instant cat eye, or just a really wearable, flattering, easy daytime look. And now it's done, I'm just going to take a touch of powder, and that's going to set it in just the way you would a foundation, because it's a creamy texture and you don't want it moving all over the place. A little bit of powder to set all over the lid. And you can even use a touch of bronzer. This really helps to tie everything in together, and just go over the crease for a little bit of extra intensity. Going to do exactly the same with the other side. Look down for me. So we're keeping that line really thin. The beauty of this is you don't need to be precise. You can literally just scribble over the lash line, and then just a touch in the socket there. And then you're going to use your brush just to blend that, starting with the inner part of the eye because you don't want to drag too much product in this part. And then blending upwards so that you're not taking too much depth across the actual eyelid, but you're keeping that depth in the crease of the eye and above. And then the same for the lash line, softening and blending that liner. And if you feel like your pencil is moving anywhere that you don't want it to use, you can take, a cotton bud, a finger, a clean brush, and just clean up around the edges. It's super easy, and this pencil is extremely soft and blendable. I'm just going to show you now how it would be if you turn to the side slightly. So I just want to clean up there. So I'm taking my concealer brush and just swiping, and that's going to give us that little bit more definition and cleaner look on the outer part of the eye. And then we can set everything, a little bit of powder and bronzer as I did with the other side. And now I just want to define a little bit more along the lash line, so I'm going to use a liquid liner for this. This is one of my faves. This is the Rare Beauty liquid liner. I love this because it's super black, super liquidy, very easy to use. It's got a lovely fine tip, but it also is a brush rather than a felt tip, so I find that it moves and kind of is sort of moved with the actual eyelid. So just a touch of this, mostly just in the kind of outer section of the top lash line. This is really just going to add a little bit of depth and thickness to those lashes once mascara's on. Now, if you have light lashes like Effie does, you might want a tight line. And tight lining is just taking a pencil or other liner and just using that to color right in the root of the lashes. Almost imagine it as your top waterline. So you're going to color in any little gaps. And again, that's going to add to this effect of really thickening the lash line once the mascara goes on. Now for mascara, and I am such a mascara girly. Mascara is basically my desert island product. I cannot do a look or live without a good mascara. This is a great one. This is the Hourglass Unlocked Mascara, and it's got a really lovely brush that allows you to be quite precise and get every single lash. Effie's lashes are insanely gorgeous. They're so long, so curly. She is blessed. So I'm just giving them a little coat of this mascara. It's actually a tubing mascara, and what a tubing mascara is it means that it's not broken down by oils like your traditional mascaras or even waterproof mascaras. It can actually only be broken down by water, and that means it's perfect for those of you who have hooded eyes and tend to have your mascara smudge everywhere, or have really long lashes like Effie does, and then can often get those, you know, those annoying little dots around the eye. I can't stand those. So a tubing mascara isn't going to prevent that, because the oils in the makeup and the skin are not going to break down that formula, and it's only washing the face that gets it off. You just look straight ahead for me. Look at one coat of that. I mean, how gorgeous is one coat of that on Effie's amazing lashes. I'm gonna do the bottom lashes too. Bottom lashes are not for everyone. Some people prefer to focus on just the top lash, but as a mascara girly, I love lashes that surround the eye. My little tip, if you do get a little dot of mascara anywhere that you don't want it, is let it dry. You want to let it dry before you try to remove it. That way it's so much easier to remove and it doesn't mess up the work you've already done. Exactly the same on this eye. I'm almost angling these lashes around the eye like a fan, so the inner lashes go inwards and the center lashes go up, and then the lashes in the outer corner pull out slightly. Now, I often, when I'm doing other people's makeup, use my nail, as you can see, as a bit of a buffer for mascara, and my manicurist always really tells me off for this one. But it's such a good little technique when you're applying mascara to stop it going on the lid and to make sure that each lash is coated. Now we're going to move on to lips, and I always like to define the lip shape with a liner. This is a gorgeous kind of warm brown, and I'm just going on the very outer natural edge of Effie's lips, and that Kissu Lip Mask is really making it so easy for this pencil to just glide onto this beautifully moisturized base. So I guess this is like subtle overdrawing. I'm not going over the lip line, but I'm going on the very kind of outer edge of that lip line. So it is going to create the illusion of a fuller pout. And now the lipstick I'm going to use is the Lisa Eldridge lipstick in the shade Velvet Fair. This is such a beautiful color and texture. It really looks gorgeously natural, and it's going to help to kind of blend and soften that lip liner. I love the velvety texture of this and how it glides onto lips. And this is such a beautiful, versatile shade, perfect for day and evening, I feel. I don't know why I always leave this last, but I think it's because I've got a real soft spot for glowy highlighted skin. So I'm going to finish this look now with a little bit of the Victoria Beckham highlighting stick. Now this is literally like a gorgeous dewy glow in a stick. It's so easy to use, and it really gives you that natural, almost like skincare finish to your glow. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a finger and press this on the high points of the face. So this is going at the top of cheekbones. It's also going below the brow bone. And even we can bring a little bit up into temples here. It's so soft, it's so natural, but it just helps to give that kind of three-dimensional skincare like gorgeous dewiness. And exactly the same for the other side, pressing that just on all the high points of the face for that gorgeous glossy skin glow. Now, just for extra dewiness and extra glow, I'm going to finish with the Dewy Skin Mist. Like I said, this one I can't live without, so I always use this on top of makeup when I want skin to look a little bit more glossy. It really, really does work. Just a light mist, but actually I really like to focus on the outer part of the face and even the collarbones with this, because you can see it really gives a gorgeous instant glow. So simple as that. That is my everyday glowy makeup look. Now the key to creating that gorgeous glowy dewy skin is that your skin prep has to be there. want to find the right moisturizer texture for your skin. I've used the Dewy Milk Moisturiser by Tatcha, and this is the most beautiful texture to hydrate and give you that plumpy, bouncy skin, but also to sit beautifully under your makeup. And then you want to choose a foundation that's really kind of light and shows a little bit of skin tone and texture through, and then just conceal only the areas that need the extra coverage. Now, when it comes to powdering, I like to keep powder to a minimum. Why don't you use a small brush or a small sponge so that you're not over applying, and just keep that powder to the center of the face. Exactly the same when it comes to highlighting, just with a small brush or a finger. You want to just choose the high points of the face and a small amount of product, but in multiple areas. This is what's going to give you that illusion of that really glossy, dewy skin whilst having something that stays on.